5 World News.
Overnight, that dramatic escalation in tensions with North Korea. Overnight, the regime defied President Trump with a new threat against the U.S. territory of Guam. That came just hours after the president warned that any new threats from North Korea would be met by fire and fury. You know, that blistering rhetoric is a real break from past presidents, and it is being met with concern from Republican and Democratic lawmakers. As a new poll shows that 6 out of 10 Americans are uneasy about President Trump's ability to handle North Korea. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, starts us off from Washington. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. The Trump administration has always said a military option with North Korea remains on the table, but as a last resort. But these words from President Trump did not make it sound that way.
This morning, the world reeling after the president's dramatic escalation in rhetoric.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury.
And one U.S. territory just over 2,000 miles away from North Korea in the crosshairs. Overnight, the small Pacific island of Guam, home to crucial American military bases and more than 7,000 U.S. forces on alert after North Korea said in a statement its leaders are seriously considering a plan to target the territory with missiles.
An attack or threat on Guam is a threat or attack on the United States.
This after that stunning warning from President Trump to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un yesterday.
He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
An overt military threat, all the more alarming given the latest extraordinary intelligence assessments of North Korea's nuclear capabilities. U.S. analysts now believe the country can produce miniature nuclear warheads. Those warheads able to fit inside those ICBM missiles that Kim launched twice last month, the last traveling farther than ever before. But it's those fiery comments that have some political leaders concerned.
You got to be sure that you can do what you say you're going to do. The great leaders that I've seen, they don't threaten unless they are ready to act.
This morning, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson on a refueling stop in Guam defending the president's words.
What the president was doing is sending a strong message to North Korea in language that Kim Jong-un would understand, because he doesn't seem to understand diplomatic language.
And of course, this war of words is all the more worrisome given that intelligence report on the North's capabilities. George?
Yeah, Martha, you mentioned the miniaturization of the nuclear warheads talked about in that report. That's not the only alarming news in there.
It is, and intelligence has in the past estimated anywhere from a couple of nuclear weapons to several dozen in North Korea, but this latest report puts the number at 60, the highest we have ever heard and the most definitive. George?
Their program accelerating so quickly. Martha Raddatz, thanks very much.
And thank you, George. We're going to talk more about this because joining us now is our contributor, retired Colonel Steve Ganyard. So, Steve, tell us, what's the possible threat here to the U.S.?
Well, Robin, what happened yesterday was the U.S. intelligence community finally said, we think that they can miniaturize one of these nuclear weapons to put on a rocket that will get all the way to the United States. So take a look at this video here. This is the evolution of how long these missiles and how far they've been able to reach over time. This is why the North Korean threat has become so much more serious, because they've finally developed those kinds of weapons that can reach all the way to the continental United States. Some people even believe that he'll even be able to reach somewhere out here, maybe as far as the east coast of the United States.
So what are America's options here?
Well, Robin, we have what's called a ground-based interceptor, and the ground-based interceptor is a ballistic missile system that is able to reach up like a rocket and be able to get into space and intercept these North Korean missiles as they come in towards the United States. So the whole idea here is we have this developing system. It's a technological marvel, but it's still only at a 50% rate of success. And so we need to continue to develop our defenses to protect the continental United States.
Steve, you have also served in the State Department, so you know about the diplomatic side of things. And what is your take on the words, the language that President Trump has used with this?
Robin, this is really the first kind of fiery rhetoric we've seen out of a U.S. president since really Harry Truman. And so the president has made the decision to make a direct video appeal to Kim Jong-un to make him understand what the U.S. response will be. The question now is, does this ramp up? Does the rhetoric continue to ramp up? Or do things begin to calm down? The next few days will be critical.
All right, Steve.